You're live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? It's the Monday Night Football After Show on AfterBuzz TV. The Indianapolis Colts demolished the New York Jets. We're here to break it down for you. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Bow, 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 bow.
It's not even over yet.
Jill, why are you waving the flag, Jill?
Because that's all that the Jets can do at this point.
Why do you have that flag?
Why do
Jill?
you have a Jets flag?
Is it because it's J for Jill?
You know, no, but that's kind of crafty. I did this brand campaign with Pepsi, fans' favorite fan, a few years back, and one of the things they flew us out to New York to MetLife Stadium and took us to a Jets game, and they gave us souvenirs, and so I kept it.
No one's going to Jets games anymore.
I would probably a waste of time.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Monday Night Football After Show. This is the proverbial white flag, even though it's green, for the New York Jets season. I am your host, Josh Rodriguez. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Jill, where can they find you?
I'm Jill Munroe. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill.
Yo, don't you got a blog?
I do. It's jocksandstilettojill.com for all your sports and pop culture gossip. Thanks, Michael Rippe.
Yes, my favorite blog, which actually you can catch my NFL rankings every Tuesday. They'll be up tomorrow for the next week. And my name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips.
I fully suspect your Dolphins to be off of that top 10.
Yeah, they're dropping.
Yep.
They're dropping.
And one team I suspect to not even come close to the list is the New York Jets.
They're going to be in the bottom.
I mean, before we get into the Colts, let's talk about the Jets. Games like this are very hard to review as a panel because there's really nothing to talk about with the exception of one team imploding and the other team just dominating. And I think today was more about the Jets just imploding. What do you guys feel? How do you feel about today's game? Storyline.
The Jets didn't even come to play.
Right.
They quit before the game started. They have nothing to play for but pride, and they clearly showed they have no pride.
Do you think that it's time? One thing I wonder, I mean, I guess, head coaches know when their team, the other members are ready, but isn't it time to throw some different combinations out to start looking for next year? They have a couple of rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's why Petty got in the game. But at the same time, I don't think they're that good. And on top of that, which is kind of discouraging as a Jet fan, Todd Bowles was hired to be your coach, and he's a defensive mind. So to see your defense this bad...
He was a
Blowout.
defensive mind. After tonight, you can no longer call him a defensive mind.
What would you call him, Mark?
A was defensive mind.
A was?
Yeah,
Just a
because
was?
no, defense was offensive.
Well, it's one thing to be, completely futile on offense as a defensive coach, but if your thing is defense, then you expect, your team to be at least solid defensively and keep you in games. But, I mean, it's come to the point where everything about the Jets is just an absolute joke, and I hate to say that. Revis isn't the same anymore.
Nobody is the same.
Yeah.
Matt Forte doesn't look the same. Brandon Marshall doesn't look the same. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not the same.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles is not the same.
It's the team of was?
The team of was.
The team of was of yesteryear.
Although they've never really been good still.
But the players, the individual, Revis at one time was one of the top people at
He was the best.
cornerback.
He was the best cornerback in the
Revis
league.
Island was not a myth.
Right.
Now it's Pebble.
But Revis isn't even the issue because he's still respectable, but it's...
You think so?
I mean, he's not good, but I mean, he's still an average to respectable. He's not the worst player that they have going. They got a lot more issues than just Darrelle Revis. They've got an entire team that's... They quit.
Yeah.
Even the way they were playing with their stupid penalties. There was a play today where Sheldon Richardson pushed Andrew Luck out of bounds, where it just showed they have no heart. They're just quitting. They had the interception where there was no Jets on the field.
That
you
was
couldn't
funny.
even tell that there was the guy returned it 4 yards before you even saw a Jet near him. I mean,
That was
it's
funny.
embarrassing.
Me and Mike were watching the game, and there was an interception, and the guy was running it back, and Mike goes out loud, "Where are the Jets? Are there any Jets on the field?"
Like Adams legitimately ran 30 yards, but there was no Jet in the picture. It's like, what are you guys doing?
I think
chilling on vacation.
Now, do you think Bowles is gone after this season? What do you
No,
guys? You
I
think
don't
Bowles?
think so. What is this? His second or third season with them?
This is his second, I believe, right?
This is his second.
I mean, because you have to think last season, Gino, what was it? His chin.
Yeah,
that was
but
supposed to be the
but
savior.
Fitzpatrick came on well.
Fitzpatrick came on
They
well.
were 10-6, even though they didn't.
Yeah, but this season more injuries. Sort of, they've been out of sorts. I think he has one more season, or at least the start of.
Okay.
Next season to kind of pull it together. He doesn't have a long leash. I'm not saying that he'll be there for a while, but I think that, you know.
This one's a coin flip for me. You would hope that he gets a third season. I think he deserves a third season, but the Jets organization, especially Woody Johnson, has been known to make quick, rash decisions.
Yes.
And especially with this team where they don't have any really future players on the roster as you look at it right now. If anything, maybe you say they have a couple defensive players that are keepers, and Leonard Williams and maybe a couple of the younger guys, but offensively, they're all older. They're players, and they're gonna clean house. So you wonder, will they clean house with the coaches as well? Just because it's tough to start new with the entire players with an older coach, even though it's only gonna be his third year. So I would say it's a coin flip. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired. Not saying he deserves to, because he had a good season last year.
Yeah.
But it's a really bad season, and Woody Johnson is a guy that makes quick changes.
All right, guys, and everyone in the chat, if you're listening, please hit us up. Let us know what you
there
think.
in the chat, we see who
see it?
like
You see
Brandon
anybody?
Clifford, is that Devin? Devin
Let
Polk?
us know what
How
you think of the
doing?
Jets' future. What's wrong with the Jets? Everything bad about the Jets, I guess. If there's any silver lining with the Jets, if we have any Jets fans in the chat.
Are we missing something? Are we failing to see the point that there's a lesson to be learned for the Jets in all of this?
How did the Jets get on Monday Night Football?
Because they were good last year. They were 10-6.
Yeah, that's true.
And I admit, I said it time and time again on this show, is that I thought the Jets were going to be good this year. They had me fooled. They really did.
I definitely thought they were going to be at least respectable.
Yeah, like
I thought they were going to be pretty close to last season. I mean, they brought in Matt Forte. You thought that they were going to improve a little bit, but everything
See, I felt
has
like
gone
Matt
wrong.
Forte was over. I mean, obviously, he had started off the season. He had a couple of good games, and then after that,
Yeah.
he's just been flat. They don't have any backup on the bench for that position, so their run game is kind of non-existent, something that could have helped them out with their questionable quarterback. So I just kind of felt like they're just kind of lost in the sauce. They don't seem to really have a direction, or they did, but then something just went terribly wrong.
Hashtag lost in the sauce.
What do we got in the chat, guys? You see anything?
Fantasy Stats Guru's here.
Yes.
Here's check everything.
What's up,
All right,
man?
we better be in your game. By the way, I just want to talk to you guys for a second.
Okay.
The Jets' performance today. I've got a new thing. I've got my book. I'm making a list. And the Jets are going on the list. So everyone, your teams better watch it, because you can go on the list next. And if you say something, you guys could be on the list. You don't
And
want to
what
be on the
happens
list.
when you
Are
get
your
on the
Dolphins
list?
on the list?
Not yet.
Oh, come on,
the
man.
Jets are on the
The
list.
Jets are on the list.
After tonight's performance, I'm writing the Jets on the list, and you better be careful. You don't want to be
Okay.
in this book.
All right.
Can I tell you who? Well, I don't know if we're ready to move there, but I can tell you who else needs to be on the list.
We'll get there. We'll get
Okay.
there. We'll get there. I wanna-
Because yeah.
I want to talk about the Colts for a little bit. They're in a division where a 500 record could obviously get you into the playoffs. Maybe
they're going to be
9-7.
number one after this win.
Yeah. Andrew Luck looked great. I don't know if that, obviously it's him, but also mixed with the Jets secondary. They're just terrible right now. He went 22 of 28, 278 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Vintage Andrew Luck.
And I feel like he needed a break. He's coming off of his first concussion. He's actually been taking a beating this season. I think he's been sacked 36 times this season. That's first place in the league.
Ooh.
So, it's good to see a performance like that out of him. It's probably his O-line has been non-existent, which is probably what has led to those little sacks. And remember, I think that goes back to early in the season when their owner said that he couldn't afford to pay for other player
Right.
positions. So,
I'll read down the stats. T.Y. Hilton in 9 receptions, 146 yards. Dwayne Allen, 4 receptions, 3 of them being touchdowns.
In the first half.
wow, that's crazy.
Look at that.
Didn't they have like 2 touchdowns in like the first 5 minutes or something like that in the first quarter?
It was just a beatdown from the beginning. So he had 4 receptions, 72 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jack Doyle, 4 for 30. Dante Moncrief, 4 for 26 for a touchdown. He has a touchdown in every game, I feel like.
He does.
He does, right? I don't even think I'm exaggerating.
No, Dante Moncrief
Guru would know if he-
is I think he had one game where he didn't score a touchdown, but he almost scores a touchdown every game when Andrew Luck is quarterback.
Yeah.
Him and Luck always.
He absolutely does.
They find the end zone together.
So maybe that offense is starting to click. I mean, like I said, the Texans don't look good. They didn't look good in Green Bay. The Titans, you never know what you're going to get with them. Like I said all year, the Colts have luck. Shouldn't they kind of be the favorites to win the division now?
Well, it looks like that they're going to cruise right into it.
Well,
I mean, who's going to...
They're not going to cruise.
Not
Right now, we got a
cruise,
three-way
but-
tie. We got 3 teams at 6-6.
Yeah.
Houston,
I think-
Indianapolis, and Tennessee.
So this game doesn't put them...
No, they're all
No?
going to be 6-6, and the big matchup will be next week when Indianapolis and Houston play. So that's a big matchup between Indianapolis and Houston. Indianapolis' schedule down the stretch though is no gimme, because they got to go to Minnesota after next week, and then they play at Oakland and they finish up at home against Jacksonville, which that's probably
That's a
a gimme.
win.
But at Oakland, the Minnesota game, and Houston, those are
Yeah.
not gimmies. And of course, who knows if Luck can stay healthy for the next 4? But I would say it's hard to go against Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
So
It absolutely is.
But,
You're still rocking with your Titans?
I'm not going to jump off Tennessee now. Come on. It's my
Wow.
team. They got a tough schedule, though, down the stretch, Tennessee.
Well, right now the game's actually still going on. It's 41-10. They're at the 2-minute warning.
Oh, too bad.
The Colts are at the Jets 20, so they might actually score again, which is which is crazy. Just a complete embarrassment of the game for the Jets. I mean, there's really not much else to talk about. I kind of feel bad for the people coming in and listening to us because it's like, I don't.
No, don't
what
feel
do you,
bad.
What do you say? It's like, okay, the Colts just completely ran the ball down their throats.
Yeah, forget the game. The Jets are terrible, but we've already showed you that we have the list. We showed you the Jets flag is at half staff.
Yes.
Fantasy Stats Guru actually has a question for you, I think.
I think it's for all of us.
Well, who did you think was going to be number 2 in that division? Jets, Miami, or the Bills?
Coming into the season, I thought Buffalo.
I thought
Me
the Jets-
too.
I thought the Jets.
I thought Buffalo.
I thought the Jets were
Coming
going to go
into the
10. I thought
season.
they were going to go 10-6 again.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go 10-6 and make the playoffs.
Well,
I didn't think they were going to be as bad as they are, but I didn't have too many high hopes from them. I thought Buffalo would be a little better than where they are.
I wanted to finish off our Indianapolis and their division thing because we were trying to figure out who we each think is going to win the division. So who do you think, Josh? Because I know that I've said Tennessee. I think, Jill, you said Indianapolis. You're on?
I said maybe. I didn't have
I'm
a firm one.
Such a politician.
I'm going to say the Colts.
The Colts? Okay, so
going
you
with
got
the
the Colts. So I want to just go through the schedules. I told you what Indianapolis is.
Yeah.
Tennessee is coming off bye. Their last 4, they're going to be home to Denver. They go to KC, to Jacksonville, and then they finish up home to Houston. So
That's tough,
it
man.
is tough, but here's my thought. I think they're going to split those 2 games between Denver and KC. I think they're going to 1-1, and I think they're going to beat Jacksonville and Houston down the stretch, and they're going to win the division at 9-7 is my prediction. And then
I disagree. I think they go 0-2. I don't think they win the next 2 games.
I think they're going to beat Denver at home.
I don't.
But we'll see. But then on the flip side, then you have Houston, and finally Houston's schedule. They finish off with they're at Indianapolis, which I just said that's a tough one. Then they play Jacksonville, and they play Cincinnati and Tennessee. So I'm taking Tennessee. You're taking Indianapolis.
I'm taking Indianapolis.
And Jill's taking whoever wins.
Are you taking Houston? Are you taking Houston?
No,
She's
I'm
a
not
maybe.
taking Houston. I actually don't think that Houston. I think that the loss of J.J. Watt really impacted them, so I don't expect too much from them. But I think that division overall is just very mediocre, so it's a toss-up. And there's nobody that I feel like any affinity more towards, or that I feel like.
So you're taking whoever wins.
Yeah, I mean,
what are we taking here?
Not in that. Yeah, I'm just.
You
Yeah,
want
whoever
Jacksonville? What do you
wins.
want?
People,
Jacksonville doesn't exist.
guys in the chat,
Say something.
everyone listening, who do you take
You want
in
to go
that
on the
division?
list?
I might have to go on the list for that division. Moving along,
By the
because
way-
I have something I want to talk about that I've been right about all season.
All right, so
by
let's-
the way, though, in that division, just for the record, Houston has a net point differential of -50.
Oh,
And also, Brock Osweiler came out this week and said that they're just about to explode on offense. Brock Osweiler, shut up.
you can't. Don't get me started on DeAndre Hopkins and the lack of production he's had on my fantasy football team because of Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, Brock Osweiler.
Do not want to get into that
The
right
only
now.
quarterback who can make an amazing receiver bad. Brock Osweiler, shut up. Okay. I'm done.
All right, so you guys want to get into a Week 13 roundup?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, so Dallas 17-15 over the Minnesota Vikings.
I told you the Vikings.
We'll keep
are
it short because I
done.
know you guys. We had a whole Thursday night football thing.
Right.
where-
Yeah,
The
go
Vikings
see
are
the
done.
Thursday Night Football
Yeah.
recap.
Vikings are done.
Vikings are done. Dallas is for real.
Dallas is the
I know.
truth.
I know. Rippe has some reservations about Dallas right now.
Well, actually,
Oh.
we'll talk about that when we get to the game later this.
Okay, we'll keep
In the
we'll keep it
weekend.
going. Chiefs 29-28. They win the game on an interception.
two.
A pick two.
That was crazy.
Beautiful.
Who? It's been you all season that has been talking about the Chiefs. Yes.
I had
all-
Chiefs early, but
Yeah.
yeah, Josh
guys-
has got the Chiefs in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl
you guys-
now.
You guys have been on the Chiefs very early. I was like, oh, I don't know. They've come on strong quietly. Nobody
Yeah.
was thinking about them, and they've quietly been getting it done consistently week after week.
And they play this Thursday against Oakland for the tops of that division.
That's going to be an
It's a
amazing
big one.
game.
That's gonna be a great game.
Join us Thursday night.
You would take Fantasy Stats Guru said he would take the Colts if Luck stays healthy. So
Okay.
that's his pick for the division.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't go against
I
that.
like that
really.
he's on my side. I like that he's on my
there you
side. He took Tyrod last week with us too. Remember that?
Oh, God.
Yes. See?
The Bears
Statistical.
26-6 over the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick. What do you have? 4 yards? That's the story?
Did he play? I don't remember.
He did play.
I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, but the snow was the story there.
Yeah.
And Jordan Howard with 3 touchdowns, helping out my fantasy team. But Bears
Bears.
Niners, I mean that's not gonna.
who cares about that game? Did any of you guys
Did
watch that
anybody
game?
watch that game? Did anybody care about that game who did not have a fantasy football player on that?
Especially in week 13? Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Bengals 32, Eagles 14. These two teams are becoming irrelevant. I don't really.
I was pretty disappointed with the Philadelphia's game plan and lack of effort against a really bad Cincinnati team.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the game, but just the simple fact that they got blown out like that, that's not something I was expecting at all.
The Eagles kind of took off really fast, and then I'm not really sure what's happening with them. It's like...
Well, I think we've learned that the Eagles have a poor head coach. Doug Peterson's not a good head coach.
That's what you think it is?
Well, I mean, there's more than just that, but I'm willing to now tell you that Doug Peterson's not a good NFL head coach.
All right. Packers 21, Texans 13 in the snow. Anything to take away from that game?
Welcome back, Aaron. I mean, I don't know. He's not really. I mean...
He's been playing well all year.
He has been, especially since week 7, which I pointed out a couple weeks ago. But I think at this point, I'm locked in on the teams that I'm locked in on. So some of these matchups, it's just like...
Blah.
Yeah.
Next week, Green Bay plays Seattle. That's the game.
That could be a good game.
They always play some classics, and this is the game. If Green Bay can beat Seattle this weekend, I think they're going to get in the playoffs.
The thing with Green Bay that's kind of disappointing, though, I don't look at Green Bay like I used to look at Green Bay.
No.
So when I hear Green Bay, Seattle, I don't... last year or 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, let's go. Now I'm just like...
They're not that elite team that you used to.
Yeah.
Definitely this season especially, but anytime, it's sort of the same as the Colts. If you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a shot, but the rest of the cast is not as good.
A shot at what, though?
A shot at any game. Aaron Rodgers is that good, but...
Just an interesting game at this point, or do you think a legitimate shot at...
I think they can legitimately
postseason?
win almost any game they're in because of Aaron Rodgers, similar to with Andrew Luck and the Colts, but I wouldn't take them to win, repetitively over better teams.
Okay. Gotcha. Tom Brady gets his record-setting 301st win in a 26-10 victory over the Los Angeles Rams.
Who?
Tom Brady. Some consider him the greatest of all time.
We're not saying who to Tom Brady. Respect to Tom Brady. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I mean,
congratulations
it's kind of
to Tom
sad
Brady.
when you do it against a team like the Rams, who have broken my heart by extending Jeff Fisher. Even though technically they just gave him another year, so it just buys them time until they get to the new stadium and they can introduce a new coach in a new stadium. That's what I'm hoping. However,
Who?
I think since the Rams extended Jeff Fisher's contract, they should go on the list. Is that my call?
Are you kidding me? You see this hat? This is an LA Rams hat. If Jeff Fisher's not fired in this offseason, not only is Jeff Fisher going on the list...
he just got an extension.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Hold on. Jeff Fisher needs to be fired, but not only that, this hat in the garbage if Jeff Fisher's not fired. Not only that, I said this before, I'm gonna keep harping on it every show we do. Jeff Fisher's a joke. He's now one more loss from tying the record for the most losses of any head coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
With Dan Reeves. There's still 4 games to go, so he's going to break the record. He's going to be the most losingest coach in the history of NFL. The Rams extended him. He can't find where the challenge flag is.
Right, that was so embarrassing when
This
he was
guy is
fumbling
an
in his
absolute
pocket
joke.
for the challenge flag.
Do you know what he said this week? He said that the wins and losses are under his control, but he can't control the offense. You're the head coach, bro.
Did you hear what he said about the conference call about the Patriots? They called him.
Yeah, and he also was talking about, well, here's the thing. He was talking
ahead.
about Brandon Bolden, and he said Danny. A lot of people misconstrue that as him talking about Danny Woodhead, who's not on the same team. But he was talking about Danny Amendola, but still, Danny Amendola's not even playing right now. He's hurt. So why the hell would he be talking about Danny Amendola and Brandon Bolden? They're the least important players on the team. At least LeGarrette Blount or someone. This guy Jeff Fisher's
He's
clueless.
trying to show he's
My
knowledgeable.
point is this. Can someone do some detectiveness? Because
I have an answer. I think I have an answer to your
I've been
question.
saying
Can I tell
this
you
for
the
a while.
rumor?
I believe that there's some dirt that Jeff Fisher has.
I'm about to tell you the rumor.
Let's go for it.
The rumor is that Jeff Fisher's agent is Marvin Demoff,
Okay.
who is the father of Rams executive Kevin Demoff. I don't know if it's true, but that's the rumor.
Also, someone is saying that I think Jeff Fisher has naked pics of the owner of the Rams. I think that there's that and probably 7
Kroenke.
other things because whatever Jeff Fisher's doing to remain the head coach and get extensions is embarrassing. And I said this, I'm not kidding. If the Chargers come here, which looks like they're almost assured to do, and Jeff Fisher remains the head coach of the Rams, everyone's going to jump shift to the
gonna hurt
Chargers,
them, yeah.
who already have a more exciting team, and now your franchise is screwed. So, hello, LA Rams, do something smart.
And that rumor was courtesy of Andrew Grant. Just FYI. At any rate.
All right. Detroit Lions 28, New Orleans Saints 13.
Yes, Detroit Lions, only because Golden Tate got me major fantasy points. And I won 2 weeks in a row. But anyway.
Am I the only person who thinks Matt Stafford should be a candidate for MVP?
No.
He's always solid. I think that his receivers are performing. Golden Tate has had a nice season. They're starting to gel, but I don't feel like it's Matthew Stafford that's really the key catalyst.
I think he should be. Everyone in the chat, I know that we have people in the chat. I wonder what they think too. And people listening, you can leave your comments on YouTube, iTunes, whatever. But
you said you had Matt Stafford as number 2 last week.
I do. Yeah? I still do.
He was good this week. He's been very good this season. He's definitely got to be in the conversation. No question about it.
Because every time I bring up Stafford's name
in the conversation,
I think he's number 2. I think it goes.
Think it's Derek Carr?
I think it goes Carr.
I don't think he's number 2, but I think he's in the conversation.
Goes Carr, Stafford,
Ugh.
Stafford,
Ugh.
Stafford,
Ugh.
and then like Matt Ryan.
You better watch those hands.
Matt Ryan. That's how I would rank them.
Those hands, you're getting close to the list. Just trying to go on the list, people.
threats.
No, but he's definitely in the conversation.
Okay, good.
He's been excellent. Also, Detroit
Top
won
5.
the first win of the season where they didn't trail in the fourth quarter this week.
Look at that.
After 11 games where they were trailing in the fourth quarter, they finally just were winning the whole time.
And that's why I think Matt Stafford should also be an MVP because he's led a magnitude of comebacks.
He's been excellent. No
Yeah.
question about it.
David Carr actually has the most touchdown passes, game-winning touchdown passes in the
I think
fourth
he's
quarter
solidly behind Carr. I think he's also behind.
for the season.
I think he's also behind Ezekiel Elliott and maybe even Dak Prescott. Yeah. I also think he's behind Brady.
Can I tell you guys a crazy Zeke stat since we brought him up that I saw from ESPN
Go
today?
ahead.
He's never lost a road game since not in high school, not in college, and so far not in the pros.
That's about to change this
It's
Sunday.
a good stat. It's a good stat. If you were on the list, I would take you off.
Broncos 20, Jacksonville Jaguars 10. No surprise here.
Wow.
We just move on. No one really believes in Denver. I think Denver's better than I think.
I actually thought. I don't know. I think Denver's not that good. I mean, they have a good defense. Don't get me wrong. I thought I said before I wouldn't be surprised if they lost.
Right.
Trevor Siemian didn't play this game. Paxton Lynch played. Blake Bortles saved them. Good stat on the flip side. Do you know that Blake Bortles has more pick sixes than victories?
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
He has more pick sixes than he has wins in the NFL.
Yeah,
It's terrible. And he was the reason that Denver basically won.
Yeah, he fooled me. He's another one that fooled me. I thought he was going to be good this year. I think last year I was fooled by all the garbage time touchdowns he threw.
It's good stats,
And me
man.
being like a very big fantasy football enthusiast, like seeing his fantasy numbers just tricked me because I didn't see enough of him. I just knew that he threw for a lot of touchdowns. And now that I'm able to see him and see what he's not capable of.
Not so much, huh?
Yeah, not so much. Not sold on Blake Bortles anymore.
How
Oh
many
God,
years
sold
how
on
long
him.
does he have left on his contract?
Well, I think
Another
that
year?
I think Jacksonville is cutting bait with that entire. I think
Gus is gone.
Bradley's gone.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing someone in to compete with Bortles at best for Bortles.
Right.
I could see him easily being the backup going into next season. I feel like that's a place where you could see Jay Cutler land or someone.
Okay.
That might be okay.
Ravens 38, Dolphins 6.
Oh, why'd you got to do that?
Because
That was
we
bad.
got to go through every game.
Oh.
Got to go through every game.
Next game.
I mean, the Ravens are starting to click a little bit. I felt bad for your Dolphins because they just completely fell apart. It's like, where's the team that's been here the past couple of weeks? You
Just
don't
didn't
know?
show up?
You don't have
Yeah,
anything
they
to say?
didn't show up. Pretty embarrassing effort. The Ravens probably the best game they played all season.
Yeah,
and
most complete.
Joe Flacco maybe the best game ever in the regular season. I can't remember a Joe Flacco dominating performance like that in a long time. You see it in the playoffs, but not in the regular season. So Baltimore's coming together. They look good,
Steve
and
Smith Sr. was
I'm
on my
not sold
fantasy
on them.
squad.
I'm not sold on them either. But they're coming alive, and they're a team that's starting to worry me if I was another AFC contender.
Do you
because
think they worry you, or they just get you excited that they're going to give you a good contest, but ultimately it's not going to turn into anything?
You're not going to blow out Denver. I mean, Baltimore. You're not going to blow them out. It's always going to be
really
a fight.
well coached, and
Yeah.
they have the playoff pedigree, which is the thing that you just look for in a team, and they get better as the season goes along, and they've been there year in year out. So you gotta consider them.
All right. The Raiders keep it rolling, 38-24 over the Buffalo Bills.
Whoop.
This one was a good game, actually. I mean, it was a 2-touchdown game, but it was a better game than that. The Bills were leading, and I actually thought they were going to win. I actually picked them to win. I don't know if I had that on record, but I thought they were going to win this game. I thought the Raiders were
It
going to
looked like they were gonna win for a while too.
Yeah, but Derek Carr turned it on.
It's been a bit
Turn it on.
frequent. If you watched Oakland this season, Oakland's been down in a lot of games where they've come back to win.
Yeah.
And even win convincingly. If you looked at the score, you're like, oh, they blew them out or something, but you thought they were going to lose when you were watching the game. Worries me a little bit for Oakland.
Think they're going to fall
I think
apart
that
in the playoffs?
I don't think they're going to fall apart. I've been saying this for a while. I think Kansas City is going to win that division. I think they're going to get a wild card, and I think that they've had an amazing season. I think it's a year earlier than than I expected for them. So I think
Definitely.
wild card and a win in the playoffs is a huge success. Anything more is gravy, and they're overachieving as is. But I think that the continued coming from behind, sometimes that at some point that gets you.
Yeah.
It's going to get you. Also, on the flip side, speaking of Tyrod, he was good at the start. I think actually they asked him in the post game. They asked Rex Ryan about Tyrod, what's going on there, and just because we've been talking about a bunch of the different quarterbacks, and he's going to be an interesting one to watch as the season finishes out here. They got 4 more games. He's due $27.5 million after a certain amount of days,
Overpaid.
and so I don't think Buffalo is going to sign. I don't think they're going to pay him that, and I think he's going to get cut.
But who are you going to go with?
I think they're either going to try to re-sign him for less, or there's some quarterbacks out there.
Every single time, I think of quarterbacks that can go somewhere, I think Tony Romo.
Tony Romo's, he's number one.
We
on the
talked about
board.
Jacksonville. I was like Tony Romo. We talked.
Well, no,
we talked about Buffalo like Tony Romo.
Tony Romo is going to be your number one guy, but there's a couple other guys that no one's talking about. Like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a guy you're going to look for
Yeah, a
in
lot
the
of people
offseason.
in the media are really high on him. They think he's
Also,
really good.
AJ McCarron for the Bengals. He's going to be a guy that's going to get a shot in the offseason. Someone's going to trade for him probably. I could even see someone going after Jacoby Brissett.
I heard Geno Smith is an option.
Geno Smith's going to be an option. I mean, there's these guys. Who knows who's going to be good or not? But I'm just saying that Tyrod Taylor thing, it's going to be interesting to see how he finishes these last 4 games, because if he doesn't perform really well, there's no way they're going to pay him $27.5 million guaranteed. And so it'll be interesting to see what Buffalo does.
All right, moving on. Steelers 24, Giants 14. Pretty boring game. Kind of went how I expected. Like I said before, I'm a Giants fan, but I don't think they're that good.
You don't believe in him.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Giants at all. I think anytime they play a team like the Steelers or a good team, with the exception of Dallas in week 1, I think they caught Dallas at the right week, honestly. You caught him first game of the season. I think if they caught Dallas, like they're going to catch him next week.
You hope.
Well,
Yeah. I
do you think they're going to make the playoffs? They got a tough stretch here.
their record.
8-4. I mean,
You asked me this a couple weeks ago, and I said no. But then they ripped off
they
six
were
straight.
6 straight before losing.
They don't look like a playoff team to me. I know it sounds crazy.
What do you think about Victor Cruz saying that he's not being targeted enough?
He's not.
Well, also Odell Beckham had 1 target in the first half. The Giants, they can't do that. He's got to be targeted more than one time.
And this is the thing, we were talking about the Jets, how Todd Bowles was a defensive coach, right? So you are shocked when the defense is not that good. Now, Ben McAdoo is an offensive coach. Why does the offense look so inconsistent
Stagnant, yeah.
and stagnant? Like it
think
shouldn't be that way.
I think he's a bad head coach.
Eli's not a bad quarterback. He can get really hot. You have the best or one of the best playmakers at wide receiver in Odell Beckham.
Oh, absolutely.
He has weapons. Sherpin's a playmaker. Cruz is a playmaker. I mean, he's not what he used to be, but there's no reason why the Giants' offense should be that stagnant.
Should be that shaky.
They don't pass the eye test, and they fail it miserably to me.
Yeah, we've been saying for a while, I hope the Giants are in the playoffs because I want to see Odell Beckham in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just see him. That's enough for me, hoping they get in. But to finish the season, they have Dallas, Detroit, and then they're going to go to Philly and to Washington. And while Philly's kind of down, at Philly's a tough one always because it's a
And
rivalry
Philly's had
game.
their number the past couple years.
And then at Washington, I think that Week 17 could be for the playoffs at Washington. That could be the winner gets in. And at Washington, I favor
That's a
Washington
tricky
in
one.
that game.
they just need to win 2 games. They need to go 2-4.
But that's a tough foursome to have Dallas, Detroit, and then at Philly, at Washington.
2-2, I'm sorry.
It'll be interesting to see if they can get in or not. Because I was saying I thought they were going to get in, and now I'm thinking they're not going to.
They just don't look like a playoff team. To
They
me.
don't. And also,
Yeah, they don't.
I'm just enough out of Odell Beckham and the refs. Like, just play football and stop worrying about the refs being against you.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. It's just annoying.
Tampa Bay 28-21 over the Chargers, and now they are tied with the Atlanta Falcons.
That's right.
In the NFC South.
Tampa
Who
Bay has
knew?
quietly been doing work. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? Because I know I can put it on record. I thought mediocre team, do
Yeah.
okay. The more maturation of Jameis. I don't even know if that makes sense. More maturation. The maturation of Jameis. I thought they would get a little further, but they've had some surprising victories.
I don't know, man. I still pick Atlanta to win that division. Everyone in the chat,
I
people
never
listening.
believed Atlanta.
Who do you guys have? Do you have Atlanta or Tampa Bay? Who do you have?
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to stick with Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm
because
sticking with
Tampa's
Atlanta,
schedule. This is Tampa's schedule to finish it out, and Tampa's won 4 straight. And congratulations to Tampa because they've beaten in their last 3 games. They beat Kansas City, Seattle, and San Diego. That's 3 good wins.
Yeah.
And so that's impressive in its own right. But they're going to finish the season with New Orleans twice. They're going to play the Saints twice, home and away.
They'll split that.
And they're also going to play at Dallas.
They'll lose
and
that.
then they finish the season home to Carolina, which they should win. But
Win that.
it's a tough foursome.
They're 7-5,
And
right?
they're
So-
7-5.
So I'm predicting 9-7.
So that's going to be tough. I'm going to stick with Atlanta because I think Atlanta has an
What's their
easier.
schedule?
Yeah, bring up
Yeah.
Atlanta's schedule.
This is Atlanta. This week they play at LA. They should win this week at the Rams. Then they're going to play home to San Francisco, at Carolina, and then home to the Saints. So I favor Atlanta.
They can win out.
I think so too. I think they'll probably finish 3-1, but
Yeah.
I'd like Atlanta.
Okay.
But I think Tampa has. It looked like they were struggling halfway in the season. You were worried you didn't see them making that jump, and now I feel like they've done enough to give you hope moving into next season that they can build on it. Because right now they're really just winning with Mike Evans dominating and their defense playing decent, and Cameron Brady at tight end is starting to show himself. But they need a couple more playmakers.
As long as Jameis doesn't do anything stupid throughout the game, they have a really good chance of
Well,
winning.
Jameis has got a little Eli to him in the sense that he makes 1 or 2 passes a game or just bozo passes, and the rest he's talented.
Yeah.
You think he's like so win big? I feel like James is one of those. He wins big, or you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think Jameis is. I've been thinking about him a lot lately. It's a little weird, but it's true. I think that Jameis he's kind of on the career arc, I think, of Cam. Took him a while to get going. He a talented.
He's a better pocket passer than Cam.
Maybe he's inaccurate.
In my mind.
I think he's inaccurate.
He doesn't seem.
I
as
don't
braggy
think
as
Cam is accurate at all.
I don't mean the bragginess or the
you just-
showmanship.
you
I
mean
just
exactly
mean he can
his on
run
fit.
when he needs to, but he doesn't look to run as his first thing. It's going to take him a little bit longer to develop than some people wanted, but I could see him I could see like Tampa in a year or two having a massive season where they're like 14-2.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the way Cam's career arc worked out at the start, at least in the first few years. So we'll see.
Interesting.
All right, Seahawks totally just demolished the Panthers 40-7 on Sunday Night
Man.
Football.
And lost Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
That's gonna
big.
be
And so
huge.
that's what I was getting at. On Thursday Night Football, I was telling you how I was all in on Seattle.
Yes.
All
Yes.
in on Seattle. And I was watching the game, and I was like, this is the Seattle team I was thinking about. This is the defense that looks incredible, that was going to beat Dallas. And then they lost Earl Thomas, who I think, if you asked me the most important player to that defense, it would be Earl Thomas.
Yes.
And so losing him changes everything. It looks like to me that everything is opening up for Dallas because without Earl Thomas, I don't know. Now it's
No Legion of Boom?
It's tough. Well, because Earl Thomas is such an important player. He, roams in that secondary and he just completes that Legion of Boom. And you saw in the game against Carolina, right when he got knocked out, the next play, Carolina went right over the top and beat the new safety, Terrell. And I don't know if they're going to be able to replace him. And so we'll see. And now I'm not as confident. I was confident. Like I felt
Yeah.
it. And now I'm going to have to see how the defense looks. I still give them a good shot, but it does worry me because Earl Thomas is huge.
Let's talk about the Cam incident. How he didn't start because of what did he violate?
Dress code violation. He
dress-
didn't
didn't
wear
wear a
his
tie.
tie.
He didn't wear his tie.
So they
Derek
say,
Anderson throws a pick on the first play.
play.
Wasn't
and
his
it's
fault.
like snap.
I don't think it was his fault though, but I just think it was pretty funny how that
What
happened.
kind of lesson are you teaching if, okay, you can't play on the first snap? All right, Cam, go ahead, take over.
Well, I think it was supposed to be the first series. It just ended up that the first series was one play.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you want to show discipline, you have to bring Derek Anderson back out for another series. That's how I felt at least.
Yeah, me too. The thing for me with that is that kind of feels like there's something more to it. For whatever reason. I understand that the owner is this is the same owner that questioned Cam about if he had any tattoos and
Yeah.
all these things. So it's supposedly a direct order sort of from him as setting the tone. We kept hearing about Ron. I'm jacked up his last name.
Rivera.
There you go. I always want to say Riviera. Yeah, not it. Being ex-military, so he's a stickler for the rules, and rules are rules. But it kind of feels like something else is going on. You wonder if he's sending a message using Cam to somebody else in the locker room, if something else happened with Cam. I mean, they stayed on the West Coast for a week after their game. They didn't want to fly all the way back to Carolina because they played the Raiders last week. Cam said he shipped his clothes back and a tie didn't match. So, how you feel?
I think I honestly think it's just a season-long thing. We're going to hear stories, I think, in the offseason of a lot of discontent and locker room things going on with Carolina that are a lot bigger than just Cam. But obviously Cam's the most important player to that team, and I think Ron was just trying to set an example moving into next season because obviously their season is over this year.
It seems like, but doing something like that, doesn't it feel like that says the coach is basically saying that he's kind of lost his team or something? You know
I
what
don't
I mean?
know. I don't know. I
It's sort
think
of petty.
it seems petty to us, and I agree. But
And I get that it's rules are rules, and I
one-
understand,
the
but
one thing that you have to look at is that Cam came out and supported that,
he did.
which tells me that maybe you know, it's something small, but it could
Cam
have been
is a
bigger.
company guy, though.
But that's impressive because Cam could have come out. Cam has shown many times, like after the Super Bowl, and plenty of times where he comes off as the malcontent or someone that's like not interested in dealing with authority or certain scenarios. But for him to back the coach, I don't know. I think there's something else to it, and we're just hearing the iceberg of it. But maybe he should have taken him out for more than just the one play.
I think so, because the whole thing, it just, the eye test of it, and especially that quick turnaround with it, just makes it look really weird.
Yeah.
For lack of a
I
better
think
term.
it's something probably also. It's probably more of like a season-long thing that probably Ron has been upset with Cam or the team or who knows what.
Because
I mean, Cam's the
ironically,
leader, so.
don't you think that was Cam's best outfit of the season thus far?
I
I mean,
didn't
he's
even-
looked
I didn't
like
even look at
Jiminy
the outfit.
Cricket
You,
and
you
so
tell
forth.
us. I don't look at Cam's outfits.
It was.
I don't know
He's
his
been rocking
outfits.
Jiminy Cricket fashion this year, and lots of interesting hats. He had foxtails hanging from him last year. He was calm. It was just a black turtleneck and an overcoat and a top hat or whatever.
All right, and before we get into predictions, just to recap tonight's game, it's officially over, 41-10.
It was officially over about 2 minutes into the
Yeah,
game.
but I just figured how to announce it. Wave it, Jill.
Why don't we-
wave it, Jill?
Why don't we take a few minutes and go to the chat because we got some questions we could talk about before we get out of here.
Absolutely.
And predictions. So Fantasy Stats Guru has a question. He talks about over under 1.5 career MVPs for Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Russell Wilson.
Combined?
It can't be combined, I don't think, because I think Russell Wilson's going to get more than 1.5
Ask
by
him if it's
himself.
fantasy. Is it combined or not?
So I'm going to say Russell Wilson gets more than 1.5 by himself. MVPs. I think he's going to finish with 2.
I think I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I'm going to take
I
the
think there's a
over.
very good chance Mariota gets one.
Wow.
Later
But none
on.
for Jameis?
I think it's a good chance all of them get him.
Wow.
What do you think?
Jameis is going to be an MVP?
I think he can be. I think he has that ceiling.
I mean, I think he has that ceiling, but I guess I don't see it for him yet.
Well, he's like Cam, where he has a
the
very
next
big
3
ceiling
years.
and a very low floor. That's how I feel about Cam, and I think they're very similar in that aspect.
I mean, I would just take Russell Wilson because I think he's the closest one to probably get.
Oh, yeah, I would take that too.
Say 2 or 3 years. He didn't
Yeah.
give us a time period as to how long.
Yeah, well,
this is,
so Fantasy Stat says that it's combined. So I'm definitely over on
Yeah,
that.
I'll take over.
100%
Because I think
over.
Russell's definitely going to get one, and I'll take my chances with Winston or Mariota to get
Getting
one.
another one.
Yeah.
And you may get 2 out of one of them.
Sure.
I'm taking the over there for
Is it-
sure.
Any other questions up in the chat?
I think that's it. There's some talk just about some people are missing Tim Tebow. They want him to come back to Jacksonville. And
That's still a thing? Tim Tebow?
I mean, it can't be worse than Blake Bortles, right?
Yes, it can be. Do you forget how bad Tim Tebow was?
Let
He
Tim
won
just
a
have his
playoff
broadcasting
The
career.
Broncos won the playoff game.
He won it. Did you not see the touchdown pass in overtime that he threw?
How many years has that been at this point? Isn't it time to just let it go?
It's been like 5 years.
It's time to just let it go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what our chat was telling us.
They
It's
weren't
time
serious.
to let us go.
They were not serious.
What happened to the Bears? Can they finally get rid of Jay Cutler?
They will get rid
Yes,
of
he's gone.
Jay
Hopefully
Cutler
this
was
last
going to be on a
season.
new team next season. Maybe the Miami Dolphins.
Maybe the Jets.
Maybe the Jets.
Ooh.
A lot of teams out there.
All right, so you guys want to get any predictions, or do you want to? Is there
Yeah,
anything
let's-
else? All right, let's get into predictions.
Just for the record,
And now,
if your prediction is off,
your AfterBuzz
going in the
TV.
list. Going on the list.
All right, so next week we have the Patriots at home against the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you guys got?
Wow. You know, I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay.
Did you just like do a magic 8 ball? What was
No,
that?
I was just thinking about what I thought is where we're at in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about the Ravens and how they're solid. They'll give you a good contest, but the Patriots at home too, right?
The Patriots at home, yes.
Yeah. So
It's gonna be.
Rippy?
I'm gonna take New England as well.
I'm gonna take the Ravens.
to make it interesting, or because you believe it?
I just don't think the Patriots are the same without Gronk. I think their offense is way less dynamic. I think the Ravens have a very good defense. I don't think they're going to score much. I'm going to take the Ravens like a 20-17 game.
Wow, you're making an actual prediction, 20-17.
Yes.
I like
Let's
it.
write
That's
that
a
down.
so
Does
that's-
that go on the list? in
Ravens
case
and the
it's off?
under.
20-17.
Yeah.
If you're off, you're going in the list.
Oh,
I'm on a team though.
Yeah, but this is more than just teams. Individuals, teams.
Okay.
Everybody's on watch now.
oh gosh. Okay, there it is.
All right,
Also,
well,
wait, one more question. If we're an owner, would you take Cutler, Tyrod, or Garoppolo? I would take Jimmy Garoppolo.
I haven't seen enough of Garoppolo, but I hear a lot of people are very high on him. So I'm going to say Tyrod.
Okay.
just because of that.
God,
though.
you love Tyrod. It's so weird.
I like Tyrod. I don't
That's
love
gonna get you.
Tyrod.
It's gonna get you in the list. Your love of Tyrod's gonna get you in the list.
So we know that Cutler's out for me. I don't believe
Yeah.
in him. I don't
Yeah.
believe in his attitude. Boop. Tyrod, I think he's overpaid, and I haven't seen Garoppolo. So I'm really not qualified to answer this question, but I'm going to take a leap, and we're going to roll with Garoppolo.
Good.
Sight unseen. We're just going to see.
I was getting the list out in case you wanted to join him for Tyrod.
Well, he
You know,
obviously looked good. He looked good this year. It's just that I don't know how much I can attribute to Belichick
Well,
and.
I think that the answer to that question, the right answer is Garoppolo, because we've seen enough of Jay Cutler to know what he is.
Yeah.
I think we've seen enough of Tyrod to kind of have an idea what it is. I don't think there's more. There's not too much more upside on Tyrod. I think he's
You
shown
think he's at a
that
ceiling?
at his best, he is what he is now. We haven't really seen more than that, and I think you just have to go with Garoppolo because he could be really bad, but he also could be really good, and he showed us a decent amount so far. Yeah.
All right, before we leave, is there anything you guys are looking forward to in Week 14? Any games in particular? Any storylines?
I'm looking forward to
Thursday's
Monday
game.
night
Oh,
and
Monday?
Thursday night. We got some good ones that we're going to talk about here.
Yeah.
Thursday night
the Thursday night
football?
game, and guys, there's an after show for that as well, so tune into that. The Thursday night game is very good. Oakland and Kansas City. You guys are lucky to cover that.
Finally,
Kinda
we
jealous.
got a good Thursday and Monday night
Right.
game.
Yeah. Well, let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx it.
I just mean the team's playing.
Yeah.
They might not be good. No, it should be good. We hope it's good.
So, I mean, you guys know that they're thinking about maybe reshuffling and getting rid of the Thursday night games.
I heard, which I think is a great thing for the NFL, a bad thing for the Thursday night football after show, but I think it's a great thing for the NFL. I think Thursday night football games are terrible.
I think that, or maybe they should just start them after Thanksgiving and not have so many. It just seems too lengthy, too long, not enough rest in between, and too much football.
I don't think they're going to get rid of Thursday night football. If anything, they're going to figure out a way to somehow incorporate buys into the teams playing, which would make more sense, give the teams more rest. So maybe you have the bye, then you play Thursday night football, so you get a long break before the Thursday night game or something like that. Maybe you start it a couple weeks in, so it's not week 1 or 2. But it's too much money out there.
That's what I say. As long as
End
it's
of the
making
day,
the NFL money, they don't care. They're gonna-
Everything they do is about
Yeah.
money. So
Yes, it
what's
is.
right and what's wrong doesn't matter. You have to go by money and this commissioner and the way that they focus, and everything is about money. And Thursday night football is too much money
But
to
if
just
the viewers
get rid
aren't
of it.
watching, then the sponsors are going to start questioning why they're investing that much money into a product and not getting the return. So something is going to have to be done.
All right, I guess we'll have to stay tuned and
Stay
find
tuned.
out.
2020, we'll be back.
Guys, thanks for joining us for the Monday Night Football After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, 5 stars on iTunes. The Indianapolis Colts defeat the New York Jets 41-10. I'm your host, Josh Rodriguez. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_Jill. Jill, where can they find you?
I'm Jill Munroe. You can check me out at Stiletto Jill, JacksonStilettoJill.com for sports and pop culture gossip. Hit follow and say what's up to me.
Yeah, and you can find my NFL rankings tomorrow on her blog. I'm finally on that site. I'm always reading it. My name is Mike Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips, MikeRips, and hit me up because if not, you're going on the list.
Thanks to everybody who participated in the chat. Tune in next week. Jets,
Oh, that's
Fly-
gross. That's not even a dog.
fly the flag. It's okay, guys.
See ya.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.